Okay.
Mordechai Shchaga Leiter. That's his mother, Slata Leiter.
And he left her when he went to America. He left her, and
he never saw her again.
What year was that?
About 1920, 21.
And he doesn't. When did he hear from her last?
Before he heard from her last that I know of. This was once a little picture that she sent him for Rosh Hashanah with a few words in Yiddish on the back. That's what I made this big picture from. This is my mother.
But what happened to her?
She was killed by the Germans.
By the Germans.
She was in her 80s then already.
And you think brought to a camp or just?
On his matzeva, we mentioned her name.
Yeah.
They said this is the data for Yahrzeit, but they really don't know.
Uh-huh.
She was on her way to a camp with Sruel and his wife on a train. They jumped off. She said, "I'm too old."
So Sewell told him obviously that she was on the way to a camp.
Yeah, we don't know where. She may have died on the train. The conditions were so terrible.
And she was all alone there on the train. No other family with her.
No, not that I know of.
Uh-huh.
This is my mother, also a small passport picture when she came to America.
What was her full Hebrew name or English name?
Her name was Bela Bracha.
Mm-hmm.
This picture, she's about 19 here, roughly 19, 20. About 20, 19 years old. That's her father, Yechiel Michal Leiter. He was a rabbi in Europe and then in America.
And then he remarried there in Europe already.
Yeah. My mother's mother was his second wife. The first one died, and then she died when my mother was an infant.
How did her mother's mother die?
TB? TB, yeah. And
then he remarried in Europe a third time already?
A third time. They came to America. He was my father's uncle. My father's father and Yechiel Michal were brothers.
And what happened to your father's father?
He died. He was a young man. I really don't know.
Okay. No, and what happened to your father's father?
He died as a young man. Look, if they didn't die of TB, they made it through old age. Like my brother's half-brother, Moshe, he was in his 90s when he died. But she had another half-brother and half-sister who died of TB at a young age. She had a full brother, Yeshua Heschel, who had a stroke. He was only about 40.
And what about your father's siblings?
Well,
some were in the war in World War
I. I have pictures of them. In World War I, 3 of them were in the army, if I remember correctly.
The Austrian, Hungarian
army? Shalom, Natan, and Meir, I think, was in the army. They were in the army.
And they made it through the war.
Yeah, they didn't see too much action, I don't think. And
then what happened to them?
Well, one of them I still haven't figured out. Meir, you see, after World War I, they lived in an area that ostensibly in the Ukraine, Western Ukraine, that ostensibly under the treaties after World War I should have been under Poland. But the Western Ukrainians wanted to have their own government. So there were a whole bunch of irregular armies led by a man named, one of them was Petlura, he was notorious. They came in, pogroms. They declared a separate state. I think one brother may have been killed by them. I heard different stories each time.
But they never made it up until World War II.
The other two brothers, Natan and maybe Meir also, that's Sinclair, and a sister, Malka Dvorah, they made it into World War II, and then they were killed.
So
Natan was
but they weren't with his Zayd's mother. They
were separated. I don't know what happened.
And no idea what happened. Okay.
Her half-sister, Malka Dvorah, passed away from TB in World War I. Natan in World War I, that was the half-brother.
And during World War I, your mother went to Vienna then?
First she went to Lvov, today Lvov, then Lemberg. to take care of her sister who was dying of TB. And her mother...
Which sister? What was her sister?
Malka Dvorah.
Uh-huh.
Then they went to Vienna. And then from Vienna they came to America. There were people from their town in America already.
What so Bubby and Zay were from the same village originally?
And my father was like in a little suburb village.
Which was called what?
Chimarenitz.
And Bubby was from which one?
Dunayev.
And that's what her father was a rabbi of.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
It's
that one's from Tzfat.
It's a Sintan spot near the hotel where we stayed. The what was it? The Rimon Inn.
Right.
I remember Mommy and I were staying outside waiting for you to come, and you came along. Meanwhile, while we were waiting there on Shabbat morning, the former chief rabbi Eliyahu came by with his son, who's the rabbi in Tzfat. But I always have. It was a beautiful Shabbat morning. I have very pleasant. So this.
Well, you're saying the Shabbat before.
Afrov.
Oh, Ofrov. Okay.
Aliyah Torah. This is Becky's picture.
Of Yonah.
Yeah. This we inherited from Mommy. Had an aunt, Thelma. She was a great aunt. She was married to Bubba Min's uncle. The others, this is
The last one is from who?
Flo, who was once married to Ivan, but they got divorced. She once came to visit us after she got divorced. That's her picture too.
Okay. So here, let's the Mikrot Gdolot. Yeah, you can see there. You see the Mikrot Gdolot are from Uncle Shmuel for your wedding.
Yeah.
Okay, that's the Mikrot Gdolot.
Let's go back to the beginning.
I'll show you. And then what? Let's see, that Yerushalmi you got as part of the Shas, which
Which I gave you. That I got as a wedding present from my father's colleagues in the Shaftim Union.
So, and then that small Shas was Zaydi's, which you rebounded.
I rebound.
Rebound.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else? Where's the Shulchan Aruch HaShulchan from?
I bought that in New York.
Yeah.
The Mishnayot I bought.
Which book? Do you have the books where Mommy's article are in?
Yeah. Amikrab here. That's her articles in here.
In which one?
In this, it was a
Amikrab
memorial.
Ri Mefarshav.
Yeah, it was a Sefer Zikaron for Sarah Kamin. And here she has two articles in English in Textus.
Come on.